Trail Seeker Adventures heads to the GNCC Round 11, the Mason Dixon in Pennsylvania. You might say it was a little dusty, causing problems for all of us. Coming back from a broken collarbone, my main goal is to get to the finish line without hitting the ground. Ride with me as we try to make it to the finish. That's right, we're at the Mason Dixon GNCC Round 11, and I decided I was going to run the RMZ 450. It's been in the garage for a few months. I've been running the beta, the 2020 beta. Went to tech inspection, came back, and something just didn't feel right. I got off the bike
something don't feel right.
And found out, yes, I had a flat tire. So, nope, the RMZ 450 is going back in the trailer, and out comes the 2020 Beta 300 RR.
Bless that she'll take us all home safely when it's over with. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
It looks like it was supposed to rain, so I did bring the Beta just in case, and I'm glad I did. Checking out, we have about 400 and some riders in the morning class. I'm running the 50A. Back here's Chuck LeMasters, ready to twist the throttle. He's from Team Fate.
Alright, boys. Good luck, boys!
And Michael Gristle in 10 seconds.
The one good thing about switching to the Beta is the push button start. Got a pretty decent jump. Got out here. I didn't want to crowd nobody on the first turn because my main goal was to not hit the ground. I wanted to stay away as much as I could. Unfortunately, I didn't get to look at the track and forgot to turn right. I thought the track went straight. Obviously it didn't, but that's what you get when you don't check out the track. I was a little late getting to the track. Wasn't able to look at the track at all, and definitely didn't get to look at the first few turns, which I suggest you to do if you ever had a GNCC. But one thing I was definitely caught off guard was the track. Holy cow, was it dusty. The main reason for not running the Beta is I had not got the suspension figured out on this for the high speed. It's okay up to a certain speed, and then it starts to get a little dangerous. So I was thinking this is going to be a fast track, but she was feeling pretty good at this point, so I was twisting the throttle and worked my way to the front. Unfortunately, Billy Evans, he's in my class. Not sure what happened there. It must have kicked him. Talked to him a little bit after a few days, and he said he was okay, got up and was able to finish the race. But that's going to be the worst thing about today is the dust. And obviously, you know, the dust is bad for visual in more ways than one. It really doesn't seem to be kicking up and blinding you as much as being so deep, not being able to see what's under the dust. I got going out through here, and when you caught somebody, if you stayed about 20 feet back, you was fine. But still, you couldn't see the rocks and the roots that was underneath the dust. So I was determined only to go to a certain pace and try to get my way back to the finish. I was third in the woods. Billy went down, so that makes me second, and I'm okay with that. To be honest with you, once I saw the dust and how rough it was, I wasn't sure that my shoulder was going to hold up. As I said at the beginning, I did break my collarbone about a month and a half ago. I did have surgery done. They put a plate and some screws in there, and I really don't want to push my luck today. I just want to get out and ride and have fun and see how the old shoulder is going to hang in there. As you can hear, I have a 4-stroke behind me. I'm sure most of my class is hating that I'm in front of them because I'm stirring up the dust. But that's exactly why I'm wanting to stay up front, because I don't want to have to deal with the dust. Eventually we're going to catch some of the classes ahead of us, and we'll find out how deep and how bad the dust gets. That was one of the pro women. I want to go ahead and apologize for my mic. I did do a Windows 10 update on my computer, and unfortunately the most cheapest, junkiest mic that I have is the only one that will work. So hopefully I can get a new mic in and by the next video. But as you can see, we caught up with, I believe most of this is going to be the 45A class, which is the class that started in front of me. I don't blame them for not letting me go by, because as you can see, the dust is starting to get deep. And although for as deep as it is, it must be like a heavy dust or something. I'm not really sure. It's really not too bad as far as, like I was saying earlier, it's following somebody. But the only thing it does do is definitely makes it hard to pass somebody that's in front of you if they're close to the same speed. You can't get close enough to them for whenever they make a mistake to take advantage of it. But this is, I believe, on the West Virginia side. The race was right on the border of Pennsylvania and West Virginia. The West Virginia side was definitely more dusty and tighter than the Pennsylvania side. But at this point, I was feeling pretty good with the beta. I was kind of glad that maybe I did go with the beta. Obviously, I didn't have no choice because the Suzuki, the 450 tire went flat. But it looks like it's going to be a slower pace race than what I was expecting, and it wasn't really feeling too bad at this pace.
is awful.
This was one of the worst sections for dust. It almost felt like he was like riding across the moon at spots. It was so powdery. I've ran in dust before, but it's just really weird running into this stuff. I was anyways, being just wanting to be cautious and not go down at all. I definitely held back. You could go faster at this point because it wasn't really rough. It's just you really couldn't tell what was underneath the dust. There were sections of this track which was primo. It had a little moisture in the ground, held the dirt together. It was supposed to rain Saturday. It didn't, and then it's moved it back to Sunday, and it got a few sprinkles, but I don't know, if it would have rained, this might have been even a bigger mess. But it's something we all have to deal with. We're all out here on the same track, and it's just up to you whether or not you want to take the risk. Now, there were definitely spots where you did not want to trust the berm. Like you would go into it and use the berm, and there would not be no berm there. It would just be 3 foot of dust, and it will suck you up. One thing you definitely got to worry about is getting your air filter sucked up. I only went down one time this entire day, and luckily I was going pretty slow. Came into a rut, and it must have had a root or something in it. I went down, and luckily it went down on the right side. The Beta is a lot like the KTM as far as the air box. If you fall over on the left side, you're going to suck all that dust up right into your filter right away. So that's kind of the stuff you got to think about when you're in a condition like this, is whether or not, if you push it really hard, you can definitely mess up, and you don't want to go busting those berms and sucking all that dust up into your filter. Here we had a situation where we came up to, I think this is one of the pro women having an issue. I wanted to go to the right, but her legs were hanging out there, and I was so concerned about getting into her legs. But she got moved up away from me far enough to where I was able to get up out of there. I'm very bad about not sitting around. I think most of your quicker riders don't sit and wait for somebody, don't wait in line. But most importantly is not to do something to hurt somebody else. So I gave it some time, gave me some room in order to be able to get up around her, and got past. That's basically most of the dust cloud that I have been following for probably about 3 miles. Thanks for watching the video. In case it's your first time, Heidi and I go out and we videotape our adventures, and we call ourselves Trail Seeker Adventures. We go out, and whether we're on our mountain bike, if we're out hiking a trail with our dogs, or out here racing the track, we video the activities that we do, and we bring it back to you and try to give you as much information as we can to help you decide whether or not that's something you like to do. Our goal was to go and hit as many ride parks as we could this year, but with the 2020 epidemic with the corona, most of the parks are down or a limited schedule, or you have to be on a schedule to be there at a certain day, and we haven't got to as many as we would like. We did get to go to Florida earlier this year. I did just get to go out west and hit some of the best single track out west. Make sure you check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. But we also been out hiking, and we went to Snowshoe Bike Park where we did some downhilling. We get the information that we can get and bring it back to you, and that way you can figure out whether it's something you want to go do before you even get off the couch. Check us out. Make sure you like our videos, subscribe to our channel. You can either push the little red icon down at the bottom of the screen on the right side, or wait till the end of the video. There'll be an ending card. You can push our logo or watch our next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. There was a dead tree up there, cut off, and I hit my shoulder off of it. Luckily, it wasn't my bad shoulder, but that's the kind of things you gotta worry about out here in the woods is sticks. I've had sticks run through me before, not a fun experience. But now we're over here on the Pennsylvania side, and we're about to wrap up lap 1. And as you can see, the trail's not so bad. Must be much rain over here on the Pennsylvania side, a little more than the West Virginia side. I'm not sure, but it was always good to get back over here. Plus, some of this is some fresh trail. This trail I've ran here several times, actually earlier this year, and I'm pretty sure this is all pretty new right here in this area. But we're getting ready to wrap up the first lap. I am currently second, and I'm totally okay with that. As we're wrapping up the first lap, make sure you drop a comment if you've raced this race, and let me know how you liked it, and if you have some ideas on how to prepare for a dusty trail. I know I've got some ideas how I work a mud, like if you're working a mudder trail. I've got some tips and ideas that I use, but if you got some ideas for dusty conditions, as far as goggles or your air filter, make sure you drop down there in the notes, and also let me know if you race this race and how you like it. As I'm starting on my second lap, feeling pretty good at this point. There was a couple of kids right there that cheered me on about every lap. I'm not sure if they knew who I was. I wasn't able to get a good eye on them, but thank you for cheering me on there every lap, because trust me, this old man needs it. But we're coming around here to the pits. Old Austin and Hobatter had the pit board out there, which I appreciate, but I thought I'd stop and throw some dust on him. because he's racing the afternoon race. And about halfway through this race, I was thinking, thank goodness I'm not Austin. Thank goodness I'm not Austin, because I did not want to have to come out here for 3 hours, because by the end of this race, the track was getting pretty rough. I was second, and I believe about 12 seconds down, and I was actually pretty surprised about that. There's usually something that goes wrong on the first lap, causing me rather to head to the back and have to start all over. But starting up front is a good thing as we make our way through these hay bales. Looking forward, but there's one section over here at the end of this field, and that's why you need to be a little cautious on your first lap. I come ripping out through here, and I seen this line right here, and it was steep. If you come out through there too fast, it could have ended your day very badly. That was a fun little hill climb. There was very little fields this race at the Mason Dixon. There's Brian Wilkins and crew. So I shared a little dust with him as well. I don't know how much he appreciated that, but I get a little kick out of it. But the race earlier this year, I think it was called the High Point. I raced the 450 RMZ. I ended up fourth. Had some suspension issues on that race. Front fork was locking up on me due to lack of maintenance, but got that fixed and everything's fine with it. But yeah, the earlier on the High Point, there was a lot of field sections back and forth, but this race was definitely more tight, more technical, and more suited for the beta. As you can tell, this thing lugs like nobody's business. I had been on a two-stroke for a long time. I had an RMZ 450, or I'm sorry, RM 250 was my last race two-stroke. And they did okay, but man, this thing lugs around. It likes it when you're lugging it. And I probably need to do a little jetting on this thing. I haven't really done anything on it other than click a few clickers and put my graphic kit on it. Coming back up the hill for a second time, this is where Billy hit the logs and went down. They were definitely covered up with dust. Richie's up here holding up the pit board, showing me in second and 12 seconds back. I am very okay with that. There's Mr. Flag Holder. He's proud to be an American, and so aren't I. What a beautiful country that we have to get out here and do the things that we love to do. almost sure that that was the exact same spot that I went down. It was a right-hand turn. I usually was in the left-hand rut, but for some odd reason, I believe it was the last lap, my battery goes dead on my GoPro before I get there. But I believe I was in the right rut, and there must be a root or something in there to take you out. And that was the only spot that I had issues throughout this entire day. Other than one time, I went around a tree and my shoulder somehow hit the kill switch and shut the bike off. But other than that, I've had a pretty clean race, which is usually very unusual for me. There's been races before where I will say, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I have not been on the ground yet. And then it wouldn't be 3 turns later, I'd be on the ground. So I learned to not give myself any credit until the end of the race. But I feel I'm safe at this point to give myself credit for not being on the ground. As I was saying, I got to the racetrack late. Well, I got here on time, but I normally get here like on Friday. And honestly, I normally race the 4-wheeler and the dirt bike. I'll race 4-wheelers. I have an LTR 450 that I run on Saturday, and then I race the bike, usually RMZ 450, on Sunday. But since I hurt my shoulder, I've not been racing quite as much. And I definitely have not been racing the 4-wheeler. The 4-wheelers, that's the one thing I see racing a 4-wheeler that is harder on is your shoulders. You get a lot more workout on your shoulders. So I'm staying off the quad until probably next year. But I did race this entire series last year. I think I ended up second in the 50A class. And but we're putting up. Heidi and I are putting up a garage, and I was all day Saturday working on the garage, putting rafters up. At the end of the day, I started up the Trail Seeker 1 truck camper. If you watched our channel, you know about the truck camper. That's what we use to go to race anymore. It's a lot lighter and easier to get back and forth to the race. But I had to start it up, went into the house, sat down for a second, and I'm like, man, I am tired. I am not loading everything up and heading out. So I shut it back off, got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and head to the race. We are in West Virginia. If you're in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia area looking for a race series, we have a few race series in this area. We have the SXCS, which is based out of Maryland, Southern Maryland, but they also run in Virginia. They've been in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. They're a good series. They break it up a little bit for you. You do a full gas type of race. It's a sprint cross, and then they also do a GP, and then they also do your normal hare scramble. They mix it up throughout the year. We also race the Mountain State Hare Scramble. That is our most local series based out of West Virginia. And then there's also the new East Coast race series out of Pennsylvania. But that is our local series in case you're looking for a local series in this area. I'm catching up with, I believe it's Zachary. He's in the Sportsman A class. He starts on the second row. I start on the third row, but it's a split row, so I'm the fourth one to go. This is one of the worst hills. He's kicking up some dust, and there's a big rock right there that I did not see. And it kind of threw me off balance, and had to get situated here so I can get going. There was definitely a better line to the left. Unfortunately, I didn't see it until the very last lap, but that was probably the toughest hill of the entire track. And it wasn't really that it was that steep or that slick. There's a lot of junk underneath all that dust that can really mess you up. And then I'm not sure if you'll see it on the video. I don't think my GoPro goes dead. I think we did 4 laps, and towards the end of the third lap it went dead, I think right before that hill. But there definitely was some bottlenecks there as well. If you ever watch any of my videos, I always tell you do not follow the guy in front of you, especially if you're trying to pass him or if it's a dusty day. And that was right there was just one of the examples why. I went the long way around, but you're never going to pass somebody if you follow them. And I did a lot of following on this particular day just because I did not want to make a mistake. I did not want to hit the ground, so I didn't push my luck in a lot of areas, and it was dusty. So I definitely tried to play it safe on this day. Right there was where that log was. It stick out and hit my shoulder. Hopefully nobody else had an issue. Some kids stacked up some logs here. Made a cool little log jump. But yeah, definitely do not follow the person in front of you. The only thing you can get if you got pressure from the rear, somebody from behind you, if you take the long route around, you can obviously lose a position that way. But we're getting ready to wrap up the second lap. I believe I hit a tree right there. Just enough to slow my momentum. But yeah, we're getting ready to definitely finish up the second lap. I'm still in second, and we'll see if I gained or lost ground. So we're definitely wrapping up lap 2 of 4, halfway done. You cannot read that display, but basically I was still second and losing ground. I'm 58 seconds. The lap before I was 12 seconds down. Heading backwards, but still I'm totally okay with that. My last race with the Beta, we won at the John Penton. It is a little bit more of a muddy track, a little more technical, and kiddos are still root me on. I'm coming up here to see what Austin has to say on the old pit board. And yep, second back, 58 seconds. Right now, the main concern is last until the end of the day. I'm starting to get a little tired. I haven't really been on a bike with competition, and I definitely have not been working out. Been a little lazy as I've been up with injuries. Catching back up with Zachary. Looks like he got stuck behind somebody having a little problem in the dust. Bike for traction, and I thought I would as well. Got around him, popped a little wheelie, did a little show off. But come around here, and Brian standing over there, I decided not to dust him anymore. He's standing back a little bit further. Probably a good thing with this crazy man on a bike, but absolutely enjoying this day. Definitely getting tired at this point. To be honest with you, my shoulder was doing better than my back. I broke my back in 2014. I got a couple rods in there, and if I don't use it a lot, it gets stiff quick. And right now my back is hurting, and also my booty. My butt was definitely getting sore, and I was definitely slowing down. As we wrap up this video, I ended up third. I got passed on this lap actually, and I got 35th overall, which I'm totally okay with that. I believe that is Ty Ely, and he is running the Schoolboy VC class, and I believe he is the amateur overall winner for the day, top amateur. He was ripping out through there and looking pretty good on his little 125. I won the top amateur. See, I won the 45A class. I don't know, it was 17, 18, somewhere like that. And I won the top amateur 3 times, which was really surprising. And especially the first time, I didn't even know I won it, and didn't even know nothing about a top amateur award until I won it again. I believe it was at Snowshoe. See, the first one I won was out in Indiana, and then I won it at Snowshoe, and then I won it again. No, I did not win it at Snowshoe. I got on the podium at Snowshoe, but I won it at John Penton. I think I won at one other place. I'm not sure where it was, but we're wrapping up this video. My battery's about to run dead here, and I just want to thank you all for watching. This is the this is the Mason Dixon GNCC. We are the Trail Seeker Adventures. We go out and videotape our adventures so you're able to see what's going on. If you have family that support you, you're able to show them the struggles that you have to go through, and maybe you might even see yourself on the video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We get out here and we do what we can to bring you some type of entertainment. The only way I know whether or not I'm doing any good is whether I get those likes or get subscriptions. It doesn't cost you a dime. This gentleman's going backwards on the track. He's done with it. He's pulling back to his box trailer. But the only way I know that I'm doing any good is if I get subscriptions. It doesn't cost you a dime. I used to not like to subscribe to YouTube channels just because you think you might have to pay something, but you don't. All it does is if I put out another video,
Thank you.
you will get notified that I put out a video, and you are able to get out and look and see if it's something you want to do. We want you to be able to check it out before you load up your bike. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. You can push the logo here in the middle or watch one of our other videos. Thanks.